Last night, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert turned into a blazing showdown when Pam Bondi, the former Florida Attorney General, was kicked off the set after a fiery confrontation with Stephen Colbert, a clash that left viewers stunned, the studio in chaos, social media erupting with the fallout. Sources say what began as a high-stakes interview with Bondi defending her political record spiraled into a heated exchange with Colbert's biting humor driving Bondi to a breaking point that ended in her ejection, a moment already the night's viral bombshell. Before we dive into this wild unraveling, drop a comment with where you're watching from, hit subscribe for more jaw-dropping stories like this. Bondi, known for her fiery political tenure, strode onto the set with her characteristic poise, ready to discuss her latest moves, her public stance. But Colbert wasn't here for a soft pitch, opening with a cutting jab. "Pam, you're a legal eagle or just circling controversy?" The quip, laced with edge, hit hard, and insiders say the audience felt it, some chuckling, others tensing as Bondi smiled tightly. "I'm an eagle, Stephen, you're just a comedian." The tension flared fast. Colbert rolled a clip of a past Bondi legal battle, headlines flashing. "That's Pam's record," he smirked. "But is it justice or just noise?" Bondi fired back, her voice steady. "It's justice, Stephen. I fight you just." The crowd splitting, some cheering, others murmuring as producers watched, sensing the segment veering off script, friction brewing. Early sources say the room buzzed. Bondi's confidence held, but Colbert's eyes glinted. He saw a crack, the stage set for a confrontation that would end with Bondi kicked off. "What's got everyone hooked isn't just the start, it's how fast it turned." Fierce, Bondi leaned in. "You don't get my work, Stephen. I'm shaping policy. You're shaping laughs." And Colbert struck, "Policy, you're shaping chaos." "Pam, I'll prove it." His jab personal, piercing. The crowd gasped, some shouted, others filmed as the clash took a raw turn, with Bondi's jaw tightening, Colbert's grin sharpening, the night charging toward a fiery, chaotic peak, the heat just starting to sear. The fiery confrontation on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert last night surged into a heated onslaught as Stephen Colbert, his wit a live wire, began tearing into Pam Bondi, the former Florida Attorney General, with a series of sharp jabs that turned a tense interview into a volatile showdown, leaving the studio-charged producers on edge. Bondi's composure starting to fray, sources say, after Bondi's bold claim, "I'm shaping policy," and her dismissal of Colbert's laughs. The host fired back with venom, fueling a clash that's already scorching the internet. Colbert, his grin sly, zeroed in on Bondi's political boasts. "Chaos, Pam, your cases flop, your stances spark fights." His voice edged with sarcasm as he rolled a clip of a controversial Bondi court moment, headlines swirling, the crowd reacting fast, some chuckling, others murmuring, while Bondi's tone stiffened. "Flop, I deliver justice, Stephen, you deliver jokes." Her retort, firm, clipped, drawing cheers, boos from the divided audience, the tension thickening with every word. The host pressed harder, "Justice or just a circus? Pam, you're a new woman, drama real." Sources say Bondi's eyes narrowed, her voice rising, "Drama, I've shaped laws, Stephen, you've shaped skits." The comeback bold strained, the crowd erupting, some shouting, "Go Pam!" Others jeering as producers whispered, "She's hooked." Their headsets buzzing, the segment slipping from its usual groove, friction mounting. Colbert grinned, "Skits, you're the act, Pam, your fuse is lit." His jab cutting, personal, stoking Bondi's fire. What fueled the blaze wasn't just the taunts, it was Bondi's defiance. Insiders report she leaned forward, "Act, I've got conviction, Stephen, I'm fighting battles, you're fighting ratings." Her tone raw, intense, and Colbert struck back, "Battles, you're fighting flops, Pam, look at you," pointing at her tense grip. The audience splitting wider, some chanting, "Colbert, Colbert," others jeering, with phones filming, ex-posts surging. Bondi rattled, one red racking up likes as the clash grew fiercer, Bondi's mask slipping, the studio pulsed with heat. Sources say Bondi's hands tightened on the desk. "Flops, I'm a force, Stephen, I'll outlast your snark." Her voice trembling slightly, and Colbert pounced, "Force, you're a punchline now, Pam, sparking." "Live," his words ruthless, cutting, the crowd roaring, some standing, others yelling, while producers signaled a break, their hands waving. But Bondi pushed over, "I'm not sparking, you're nothing." Her bravado wobbling, the chaos swelling, with insiders noting she's fraying, the night charging toward a fiery, explosive peak. Colbert's assault unrelenting. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert erupted into a blazing storm last night as Stephen Colbert, his wit a flamethrower, drove Pam Bondi, the former Florida Attorney General, into a fiery confrontation, a relentless barrage turning a heated clash into a public breaking point, leaving the studio tense, the audience divided. Bondi's defenses crumbling under the pressure. Sources say Bondi's shaky vow, "I'm not sparking," after defending her force, met Colbert's ruthless taunt, igniting a meltdown that's now dominating every platform. Colbert, his grin sharp, intensified, his attack punchline, "Pam, your record's a farce, your fights flop." His voice biting, mocking as he flashed a montage, Bondi's court setbacks, protest headlines, the crowd reacting hard, some laughing, others gasping, while Bondi's jaw clenched. "Farce, I'm a fighter, Stephen, you're a cynic." Her voice loud, trembling, the audience surging, cheers clashing with boos as producers watched, hands twitching, the live feed holding tension soaring. The host dug deeper super fighter, you're fueling chaos. Pam, look at the mess. His jab vicious, personal, and Bondi snapped back, chaos. I built justice. Stephen, you've built nothing. Her words fierce, faltering with strain, the crowd splitting, some shouting burn him. Pam, others jeering with phones filming, ex-posts exploding. Bondi shaken, one red trending fast. Colbert grinned, justice, you're a disorder. Pam, your sparks fading, pointing at her flushed glare, the audience roaring, some chanting break her, others pleading, ease up. As the chaos swelled, what turned the heat into a wildfire wasn't just the insults. It was Bondi's fury. Insiders say she stood slamming the desk. Disorder, I may force Stephen, I'll bury you. Her tone raw, roaring, and Colbert fired back. Force, you're a flop factory. Pam, bury yourself. His taunt ruthless, the crowd splitting wider, some rushing the stage edge, others yelling with clips hitting X. Bondi's unhinged, racking up shares as Bondi shouted, I'm not a flop, I'll crush you. Her voice cracking with anger, hands pounding again, the room igniting. The studio became a tinderbox. Sources report producers signaled security, their voices urgent, she's hot, but Bondi pressed on, you're a nobody. Stephen, I'm everything. Her fury shaking, sweat beading as Colbert stood, everything, you're a tantrum. Pam crashing, live, his command sharp, piercing, the crowd erupting, some tossing cups, others live streaming, while Bondi roared, I'm not crashing, you're done. Her voice thundering, eyes wild, the confrontation peaking, with insiders noting she's over the edge. The night hurtling toward a fiery collapse. Colbert's pressure unyielding. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert hit its fiery zenith last night as Stephen Colbert, his wit a relentless blaze, drove Pam Bondi, the former Florida Attorney General, into a chaotic collapse during a fiery confrontation, a brutal showdown spiraling into a breaking point on live TV, leaving the studio in turmoil, viewers agap, the internet a wildfire of reaction. Sources say Bondi's thundering roar, I'm not crashing, you're done, met Colbert's final searing strike, sparking a meltdown that sealed her ejection. The night's peak, a raw explosive eruption. Colbert, his grin cold, landed a devastating blow, crashing. Pam, your career's a sham, you're the proof. His voice sharp, cruel as he flashed to mock real Bondi's legal flops. Protest clips, fiery headlines, the crowd reacting hard, some laughing, others gasping, while Bondi's face twisted, sham, I'm a titan. Stephen, you're a speck. Her voice booming, fracturing with rage, the audience surging, cheers clashing with boos as producers watched, hands frozen, the live feed holding, chaos exploding. The host pressed harder, titan, your attire. Pam burning live, his jab vicious, final, and Bondi lunged forward, fire, I fought for justice, you fought for laughs. Her words furious, eyes blazing, with Colbert pouncing, justice, you're a meltdown. Pam, your sparks toast, pointing at her trembling frame, the crowd roaring, some chanting, fall, fall, others shouting, hold on. As phones filmed, ex-posts surging, Bondi's done. One red trending fast. Bondi roared, I'm not toast, you're trash. Her hands slamming the desk, fury spilling, a bellow shaking the stage. The confrontation broke wide open. Insiders say Bondi stood fully trash, I'm a legend. Stephen, I'll crush you. Her voice raw, unhinged as Colbert leaned in. Legend, you're a mess. Pam crashing, live, his taunt merciless, the audience surging, some standing filming, others yelling with clips hitting X instantly. Bondi's meltdown, live, one red racking up shares, another showing her roar, she's lost it, going viral, millions watching. Bondi shouted, I'm not a mess, you're nothing. Her voice shaking, desk rattling, the chaos overwhelming her, control gone. What sealed the ejection was Bondi's unraveling. Sources report she ripped off her mic, I'm done with this, you're dead. Her voice a mix of rage, exhaustion, hurling the mic at the floor, the crash resounding while Colbert laughed, dead, you're the wreck. Pam, get out, his words brutal, final, the crowd erupting, some rushing the stage, others chanting, kick her. As security lunged, grabbing Bondi, who thrashed, let me go, I'll walk. Her fury blazing, the confrontation complete, with insiders saying, she shattered. The night ending with her exit, Colbert's triumph absolute. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert descended into sheer mayhem last night as Pam Bondi, the former Florida Attorney General, was kicked off the set after a fiery confrontation, her thrashing, roaring exit on live TV leaving the studio in shambles, viewers stunned, the internet exploding with the fallout of a clash that broke her live. Sources say Bondi's furious cry, let me go, I'll walk, as she tore free from security, marked the end of her stand, with Colbert's cool triumph resounding. The night's chaos hitting a blazing peak. Bondi, fury unleashed, broke from security's grasp, I'll walk, her voice a ragged bellow, storming toward the exit, her frame tense, face flushed as Colbert stood, arms crossed, get out, Pam, your mess is done. His taunt sharp, victorious, the crowd roaring, some cheering, gone, others gasping no. Pam, while security trailed, hands hovering, unable to halt her stomping retreat, the live feed capturing every wild stride, her figure vanishing into the wings, a tempest fading under the studio lights. The audience lost all control. Insiders say some surged forward, phones flashing, filming Bondi's stormy exit, others pounded seats shouting, she's out. While a few cried support Bondi forever, the room a clash of noise with producers stunned, their headsets buzzing. She's off, keep it live, one stammered, the broadcast holding showing the wrecked desk where Bondi once sat, now a testament to her collapse. Colbert leaned in, that's the Bondi exit, folks, all noise, hold, his voice dripping mockery, sparking roars, laughter as chaos reigned, some tossing cups, others live streaming, the energy untamed. What turned this moment into a spectacle wasn't just the rage, it was Bondi's downfall. Sources report her last snarl, "I'll bury you," roared as she vanished, barely audible, her defiance drowned in anger while Colbert waved, "Bury me, you buried yourself, Pam, see you," his final barb ruthless, the crowd splitting wider, cheers crashing against boos with X exploding, clips of Bondi's frantic exit trending. She's done, one post read, racking up shares, another of her mic toss, Colbert kicked her, going viral, millions watching the wreckage loop, insiders say producers let it roll, the ratings spike, a gold mine, the chaos too hot to cut, the immediate aftermath slammed hard, Bondi's team scrambled backstage, sources hint she raged into a corner. "This isn't over," her voice of furious rasp, aides rushing to shield her while Colbert strutted. "That's how you boot a firebrand," he quipped to the crowd, their cheers deafening, some surging the stage, others filming as security cleared the wings, the night's end a smoldering wreck online, the tide turned fast, Bondi crashed, one thread read, "Colbert's king." Another claimed, with analysts noting, "He broke her live." The host's wind locked, the fallout poised to blaze on, a storm just beginning, the fallout from Pam Bondi's ejection from The Late Show with Stephen Colbert last night after a fiery confrontation has unleashed a tidal wave of reaction, with the former Florida Attorney General's stormy exit ending in her furious backstage roar. "This isn't over," turning a live TV clash into a global spectacle, leaving Bondi's image in tatters, Colbert's victory blazing, the internet airwaves buzzing with takes that won't fade. Sources say what began as a bold defense of her record ended with Bondi kicked off her downfall, a viral blaze, the clash's ripples shaking everything in its path. Bondi's backstage rage landed like a spark, insiders report she paced, fists clenched, "This isn't over," her voice a raw snarl, aides hustling her out as cameras swarmed while X erupted, her statement, "I'll stand taller," posted later, pulling 120,000 likes but swamped by replies. "You crashed, Pam," trending fast with clips of her stormy exit mic toss looping millions of times. Bondi booted, a viral thread claimed, memes of her retreat captioned, "Legal tantrum flooding TikTok, Instagram." Supporters rallied, "She's a fighter, they're petty." One post pleaded, but the tide surged, her reputation bruised, Colbert's camp soaked in the glory. Sources say his next show opened with, "We had Bondi, she flared, I fled her." His quip smug, victorious, pulling record ratings, a 65% surge, snagging viewers hooked on the chaos, while insiders hint he's gloating, "She burned, I won." His team buzzing, eyeing more bold strikes, with analysts noting, "He owned it." Though some whisper, Bondi's plotting the triumph edged with risk, the crowd's cheers echoed, Colbert rules ringing online, locking his edge sharper, the internet split like a chasm. Bondi fans mourned, they ambushed her, she's gold, one X post read, racking up shares while critics feasted. Bondi's a loud flop, another hit viral status with debates raging, was it fair, trending clips of her fury dissected, "She snapped," one pundit said, "Colbert played it perfect." Another added, predicting a political PR hit, campaign chatter spiking, her brand singed. Sources say Bondi's hold up, fuming with talk of a counter-strike, maybe a public speech, her silence loud, the ejection a scar that's sticking, the ripple effects are seismic, late nights rattled, experts call it a shift, Colbert flipped the script or fried it, one said, networks eyeing riskier guests or tighter control, risking fade if they misstep, while viewers divide, half cheer he felt a firebrand, half cringe, too harsh, the clash a cultural burn, Bondi's fall, Colbert's peak etched in viral lore. This isn't over, it's a fuse, Bondi's comeback, Colbert's next play set to ignite, so stay tuned if you're hooked on this madness. Smash that subscribe button now, don't miss the next blaze.